let's cross live to Tbilisi on the programme. Hans Gutbrod joins me now. He's a researcher and an associate professor based in the Georgian capital. Big moment today then in Parliament in Tbilisi. Your thoughts on what we've just seen and what may happen now?
Well, it was a big moment. It was a bad moment for Georgia in many ways because it can be seen as part of a kind of seizure of power. I think it's accurately described as a coup. The Georgian Dream government has seized control over various sectors of society in recent years, the courts, the media, the cultural sector. And now it's in a position where it can snuff out civil society at will.
The Georgian president, Salome Zurabishvili, has been very clear that she does not support the government on this. She's against this plan. Can she intervene now, stop it from happening, or is this really a done deal?
Well, we will see. A lot of people are out on the streets. It's important to understand it's a kind of the president has veto power, but parliament can actually override that veto after that. There is a sense that lots of people are mobilizing. Students are going on strike. Some school students have said that they're going to go on strike. So the government may be able to push the law through parliament with lots of riot police around it. Whether it can put the country back on track, that's a very different question.
And look, if this does happen, if this bill, divisive as it clearly is, becomes law, who do you think will be impacted first in Georgia?
Well, it's important to say that it's not really divisive because it mobilizes lots of people, but actually it's a small clique that pushes this through. It will immediately impact nonprofit organizations that have pointed out the terrible corruption that we've seen in Georgian government recently. It will impact nonprofit media, but it will also impact institutions like animal people that help stray cats, because they too now will be at the mercy of a government that can kind of shut them down at a whim.
Could it prevent Georgia joining the European Union?
Well, I mean, Georgia is going in a totally opposite direction. The Georgian government is going in a totally opposite direction. And it's important to say that the very same party a few years ago put into its constitution that is kind of obligated to try and integrate into European structures. So it's even running against their own constitution that it wrote. It's very clearly there's no path into Europe with that law on the books.
So Georgia then really, in your view, leaning very much towards Moscow now?
Well, I mean, I think there is a geopolitical aspect to all of this, but it's important to understand that the main thing is driven forward by the singular ruler of Georgia, a reclusive billionaire, someone that one can describe as kind of the loneliest man in Georgia. He's been very removed, and it's him fighting out his own vendettas. There is a geopolitical dimension, but it's only one angle of it all.
But the protesters say the law itself is just a copy of a law in Russia. Is that accurate?
It's accurate that it's very similar in the kind of reach, and that if that is applied and if it goes through, we'll see something very similar to Russia, which is a snuffing out of civil society. And that means literally, I mean, you won't be able to run organizations that help people with disabilities. Nobody who runs a civil society organization will be safe because there's so many ways of intruding into its activities. So the impact will certainly be like that of the Russian law. So it's an appropriate description.
Hans Gutbrod talking to us there live from Tbilisi this afternoon. Good to talk to you. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.